interesting to see the seam position as it comes out of his hand. Just thought he lost it a bit in the first innings. That's alarming. I mean, just look to play the line. If it beats you, forget it. Nothing you can do with that kind of delivery.
Look on Duckett's face then. About 8,000 tickets have been sold today for this 5th day, so there's still tickets available. You can get them for £20 for adults, £5 for kids. You can come to the ticket office here at Headingley. You can go to the website, but the forecast is okay. I think that forecast rain has passed us, so we're set fair. If you're in the area, come on down. Great value, 20 quid for what could be one of those great days.
Uh-oh. Now it's upon Siraj. How could he bowl now? Because
talking about Dilip Doshi at the start, Ravi, you played a bit
yesterday
with him.
he's not
unlucky,
even
wouldn't he? Because
bowling
he
in
didn't play Test cricket till he was
accurately
33. The vast majority of the years
अगर ये
before
accurately
that,
बॉल डाले सिराज तो बुमराह को काफी ज़्यादा सपोर्ट मिल जाएगा और वही चाहिए अभी इवन दो बुमराह ही हमारे पास इस टाइम पर होगा तो विकेट ले सकता है ऐसे क्योंकि अभी तो बादल है तो सबको स्विंग मिलेगी.
Always immaculate. When you saw him at any of the dressing rooms, game for Warwickshire or Nottinghamshire, in the crispest suit possible, they would call him the Prince there. And a great friend of Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones. He was nuts on Rolling Stones, but was a great friend of Mick.
Unlike Jadeja, who's quick through the air, he was more of a flight bowler, wasn't he?
Very much.
Ball.
100 wickets in the season of 1980 for Warwickshire.
Very ball.
And I believe he was there at the World Test Championship on day 3 or 4, so it's happened suddenly.
देखा जाए तो पूरा मैच इंग्लैंड के हाथ में है. काफ़ी लोग बात मानेंगे नहीं वाली, पर इसीलिए इंग्लैंड के हाथ में, क्योंकि जिस तरीके से इंग्लैंड खेलती है, अगर आप हमारा कल का दूसरा सेशन भी देखोगे तो बिल्कुल हम भी 5 के रन रेट से खेले थे और अगर फर्स्ट सेशन में हम 3-4 विकेट नहीं लेते तो हम फंस जाएंगे.
त्यागी भैया, ये अपने जेन बोल्ड अंग्रेजों पे भारी पड़ेंगे ना? अरे आप जेन गोल्ड के बिना सब कुछ शुभ शुभ होगा ना? अरे इंडिया सीरीज जीतेगी ना? भाई अनंत, तेरे कठिन सवालों का ना नहीं है अंत. कोई जीते ना जीते, तुम जरूर जीत सकते हो. विंजो प्रेजेंट्स जीतो धन धनाधन. जीतो टैब पर जाओ, शुभ मन से सवालों के जवाब दो और हर मैच में जीत सकते हो 1 लाख के गोल्ड वाउचर. गोल्ड खेलना है और भी बोल्ड तो विंजो ऐप पर खेलो लूडो, कैरम जैसे 100 से भी ज्यादा गेम्स और जीतो करोड़ों इनाम. जीतो धन धनाधन ऑन जियो हॉटस्टार.
दो ओवर सही गए हैं, मतलब बुमराह ने चौका खा ही लिया था. अब बुमराह इस ओवर में क्या करेगा? बॉल.
It's another cracker. Didn't quite move as much, but there was bounce as well. And Duckett fortunate to miss it again.
And a super line here to the left-hander from the angle at which he's creating. Just zeroing in, trying to hit the top of off stump. And from there, even if the ball holds its line, it's a great variation. As a left-hander, you've got to play it. Look at the seam position. Great presentation, bolt upright. see already when Siraj bowled that last over, the way Duckett was playing off the back foot, and when he has to play Bumrah, the ball's hitting the bat, and that's where Bumrah is different from a lot of bowlers. The nip he gets off the surface. It might be quick in the air, but off the pitch as well. Ball kisses the surface and zips through. Very little time for you to adjust or react if the ball's doing something.
अब 2-3 ओवर में विकेट मेरे को तो लग रहा है आ जाएगी, अगर ऐसे ही हम बॉल डालते रहे, ज़्यादा वेट से नहीं थी बॉलिंग है, ज़्यादा चौके वोके रन वन नहीं खाए तो। आई ओह माय गॉड, बॉल
Watchful start here from England.
Ball.
What India need today really is someone to do a Kohli job. Right in the face of the opposition, wherever he is. Someone has to be designated or given that role. I don't think there's one guy who can do it. Kohli could do it for 3 people. Designate 2. Tell them, do the job.
रोहित शास्त्री टॉकिंग अबाउट कि किसी न किसी को विराट की तरह ऑपोजिशन को वो करना पड़ेगा, पर अभी तो मुझे लगता नहीं इंडिया में कोई इस टाइम पर है, क्योंकि कल सिराज फर्स्ट इनिंग में सिराज ने करने की कोशिश करी तो उसके साथ कोई था नहीं, जब उसके साथ इंसिडेंट हुआ था। Ball up, boy, field away.
27 for none.
This grandest tennis court is the ultimate test of ambition, where the best face off in whites to etch their names on the prestigious silverware. After all, this is the greatest Grand Slam. This is Wimbledon. Starts 30th June, only on Jio Hotstar and Star Sports Network.
सिंगल स्लिप के साथ स्टार्ट कर रहे क्रोली के लिए, सारे खाली हैं। क्रोली में को ज़्यादा अटैकिंग लगता है ब्रॉकेट से ज़्यादा, क्योंकि थोड़ा क्लासिकल भी है क्रोली, एक तो हाइट से उसकी रीच भी ज़्यादा है।
Yeah, blustery conditions. It's not easy running up the hill from that end.
Ball.
Yeah, that's what he's looking to do. Run it back in and ball in. Ball stump to stump.
No ball. सिराज ज़्यादा आज गेम मतलब बॉलिंग में ज़्यादा अच्छा लग रहा, मतलब अच्छी बॉलिंग कर पा रहा, अच्छे रिदम में।
I think he has a very important role to play today, especially from the end. Siraj is bowling now.
Ball. जैसा मैंने बोला था।
He drives.
doesn't
रीच ज़्यादा है
quite
क्रॉली की.
time it, and there is a man out just behind square on the offside, the man that Ravi Shastri was just referencing, Ravindra Jadeja.
Yeah, blustery conditions to bowl for a fast bowler. Up the slope is not easy. All of them will be reluctant. They'll want to bowl from the Kirkstall Road end. So he'll have a role to play. And there's rough outside the off stump. Strong breeze blowing across the ground.
अजय सिराज को ऐसे सबसे ज़्यादा डॉट बॉल डालने का वो मिला था आईपीएल में, तो यहाँ पे भी इसे वही करना चाहिए, मोस्ट ज़्यादा ज़्यादा डॉट डालने चाहिए.
This happened on day 3 when he was desperate to get the ball changed. Wasn't happy that Paul Rifle refused to change it. He threw the ball away, and for that has been given a demerit point. Something and nothing.
ओए
Good accurate start this from Siraj, who is the kind of spirited cricketer that Ravi Shastri was talking about a moment ago, that somebody needs to do a Kohli. That was Lords on that tour when he asked his bowlers and fielders to unleash hell on England. Well, Siraj is that kind of a character. He's very aggressive and in your face.
Oh,
Extraordinary shot
खड़ी हो जाती है.
Zach Crawley. And there's a little bit of Rishabh Pant about this shot.
First sign of wanting to break the shackles, a little bit of aggression. And he came across in the end, swung across the line as well. I think what he anticipated was just to pick the line if it was into him, and then flick it away on the onside.
Wicket. Short.
Drives with a straighter bat this time, but straight to the fielder.
So man dropping back now to the square leg boundary, front of the umpire. That's for the pickup shot.
जल्दी हार कर दिया बंदा. ओए
It's not a straightforward ground to bowl at here if you don't have much experience of it. If you're coming from the opposite end from where Siraj is bowling, you're running down the hill, and that you can often overstride and bowl no balls. From Siraj's end, you're often into the breeze and up the hill, and that can provide the opposite problem. Eventually Jadeja will settle into a spell there, but for now Siraj is having to do a bit of a shift into a blustery wind and up the hill.
बॉल. ये ओवर भी सही गया.
31 for none.
और विकेट आना ही था. बॉल पुरानी होती रहेगी, दिक्कत उतनी ज़्यादा होगी, पर बॉल ये रहेगा. फिर जडेजा भी अकेला 10 विकेट नहीं ले सकता ना, जिस तरीके से अटैक होगा इस पर.
He's going to have a critical role, Ravi. Will he change his style at all, or just very quick, stump to stump, and hope that the pitch starts to respond, being a fifth-day worn surface?
ऐसे जडेजा सीनियर प्लेयर है तो मोर प्रेशर होगा कि कहाँ भाई आज तो परफॉर्म करके दिखाना ही दिखाना है.
Outside the left-handers off stump, he might vary his pace. They just slow it up a bit every now and then. To the right-handers, he'll do what he normally does, just rip it in, and one will turn, one won't. Rely on accuracy.
Well, first time for Zach Crawley at Bumrah's end. Duckett's taken
पिछली बार आउट करा था बुमराह नहीं क्रॉली को, अब आ गया क्रॉली वापसी बुमराह के सामने, प्रॉब्ली विकेट आउट है। यार अब इस ओवर में विकेट चाहिए ही चाहिए। बॉल यार,
mentioned the slope and running up the hill. It's quite noticeable when you go onto the pitch as to when you see the dip, and a lot of the slip catches that have gone to ground have gone at that end, because as a fielder you're standing at least a foot below pitch level, and that's why when you try to get those catches with your fingers pointing down, it's a lot more difficult because they're at your chest straight away. So fingers have to be pointed up. Have a better chance.
whoa,
That's one of the few that we've seen that's kept low. All the irregular bounce has come from the end Bumrah is bowling from, which is the Kirkstall lane end. But generally, that line outside the right-handers off stump, the odd ball has bounced a touch. This one just kept low.
ball in actually.
From a line that is not really going to trouble the right-hander. If that
Panth ke
happens
rugby
from
ka yaad pe.
straighter, then you're done for.
Ball, shot.
Nicely controlled drive from Crawley, who just leans into it, doesn't try and hit it powerfully.
Very quick across the turf. That should have been a boundary. Anyone else was chasing. And nicely timed. Didn't try and hit it too hard. Nicely controlled. And even at this age, he's not growing any younger. He's still easily the best outfielder, one of the best in the business.
फर्स्ट इनिंग में कैच नहीं छोड़ा होता तो हम पर लीड काफ़ी बड़ी होती, लीड बड़ी होती, अभी टारगेट बड़ा होता तो हम और हमें इस टाइम पे हारने का कोई वो नहीं होता, ड्रॉ और जीत रहती। अभी भी काफ़ी लोग कह रहे होंगे कि ड्रॉ हो जाएगा, पर मेरे को लगता नहीं। अगर इंग्लैंड अपने विकेट नहीं गंवाता है तो काफ़ी जल्दी आगे बढ़ जाएगा। और स्टैट्स ही देख लो, इनके रन रेट कैसे चलते हैं। एवरेज 42 की है, रन रेट 5 का, अगर ये दोनों बैटिंग करते हैं तो। पेंसिल ओए
No real swing this morning. Anything we've seen, a couple of balls seen, and even that will die down once it gets a little older. So just biding their time, these two batsmen.
बॉल कंटिन्यूसली अच्छी बॉलिंग हो रही है, पर वो जो अच्छी बॉलिंग का वो है विकेट मिल ही नहीं रहा है। स्विंग है नहीं आज, सीम हो रही है जैसे रवि शास्त्री ने बोला।
This grandest tennis court is the ultimate test of ambition.
और सबसे बड़ा पॉइंट ये रहेगा ना कि अब जब नेक्स्ट बॉलिंग चेंज होगा, अब देखते हैं कितना लंबा दोनों मिलकर स्पेल डाल पाएंगे, क्योंकि अभी दोनों तो अच्छी बॉल डाल रहे हैं। पर जब कृष्ण आएगा या शार्दुल आएगा, जब तो क्रॉली और ये तो दोनों हाथ खोलेंगे ही खोलेंगे। पर एक जडेजा होगा जिस पे तो विकेट आने के चांसेस मतलब काम का मेन आज ये रहेगा। आज मेन जडेजा पे ये सारा, अगर स्पिन कराने में कामयाब रहता है तो
That was Keaton Jennings back at Southampton.
I remember that it was just before lunch, so he had a big pack behind him as well, walking.
Figures overnight then.
वो यार
Good bowling, really good bowling. You can see the plan.
विकेट पे क्यों नहीं लगी यार
Straight, wicket to wicket, bring the ball back at Crawley with some protection on the leg side. And at the
इतनी बढ़िया
moment,
bowling कर रहे हैं यार
Siraj is
सिराज आज
upholding his part of the bargain. He's bowling accurately, bringing it
अबे
back off the
यार
seam, nearly nipped the top of off stump.
Yeah, it's the wobble seam and it's his stock delivery, the one that
ओए
nips back.
यार
Just almost kissing that off stump. It's a good line, the pressure building. You can see on day 5 the bounce a little variable as well.
Crawley's come out of his ground a yard or so.
बॉल कंटिन्यूसली अच्छी बॉलिंग डाल रहे हैं आज आसो सिराज लगता है बात करके आए विराट भाई से
Feels that he knows what the plan is and that the threat is to the pads, to the LBW, the ball nipping back. So Crawley has just come, taken his guard outside the popping crease a foot or so.
बॉल
Good this from Siraj. It's such an important part of today, how he and Prasid Krishna back up Bumrah, and he's made a good start.
And that's his role, to be patient, target the stumps. You want to target the stumps on day 5 more often than not. Simple reason being because of that variable bounce. If it keeps low, wraps the pads, you've got to be in with a shout. Inside edges can go back onto the stumps. Bounce is variable.
बॉल यार बॉल बहुत बढ़िया
Don't talk so much about reverse swing, do we, these days? We're looking at how bare the square is, how dry things are here at Headingley. You might fancy some reverse swing later in the day. Of course, India will get a second new ball as well towards the end of the day if we get that far.
बहुत
That's what
बाउंस
he's
है
looking for, but it's just a
Bounce,
bit
yeah.
high. But that is a really good over from Mohammad Siraj. England are 36 for none off 12.
छः डल गया आज के
There's a rise in heart attacks among young people.
This is an epidemic.
Epidemic.
क्या ये हमारी किस्मत है? और अगर किस्मत है, तो क्या हम किस्मत बदल सकते हैं?
बुमराह अगेन मैन विकेट चाहिए भाई
India's opening two bowlers here?
Yeah, they have, and there's a bit of movement there to encourage them too. The odd ball is just seaming, the odd ball is kept low. It's spot on, not giving any freebie boundaries away. Kept the pressure on the batter. But England will be happy too, not losing a wicket in the first half hour of play.
Ball.
Trying to work out what to do with the bowlers from that football stand end. 20 wickets have fallen to seamers at the Kirkstall end. We've highlighted the uneven
जैसे कि
bounce.
विकेट नहीं मिलते हैं तो बाद में बहुत बड़ी बात है कि अच्छी बॉल तो डाली पर विकेट नहीं मिला क्योंकि अब कृष्णा तो आने का मेरे को लग रहा है कृष्णा कभी आने वाला
You go to that man Jadeja and he ties up that end, but it does allow England and Duckett in particular to try and get after him.
डकेट का विकेट तो चाहिए चाहिए भाई अगर जडेजा को लाना है तो
I think while the ball is this new, you need the seam bowlers, the swing bowlers operating. Krishna should follow Bumrah from the Kirkstall lane and down the hill. He's not bowled this end. He's not bowled with the indifferent bounce from down the hill, so I think he deserves an opportunity. He didn't mention Shardul Thakur, who is playing as a bowling
डकेट
all-rounder.
ज़्यादा कोशिश कर भी नहीं रहे स्कोर करने की अभी तक तो नहीं कर रहे उन्हें पता है कि बाद में बेकार बोलना है बेकार तो नहीं बोलूँगा मतलब थोड़ी लूज बॉल्स मिलेंगी बाकी के बॉलर से भी बुमराह अच्छी बॉल डालने सिराज अच्छी डाले और एक टाइम आएगा जब पेशेंस ख़त्म होगा तो वो बॉलें आनी बंद होंगी तो आप वो अटैक करेंगे आराम से हाँ यार ट्राई करा थोड़ी सी विकेट मिली डकेट ने ट्राई करा पर वो मिला नहीं स्कोर
Nightmare at slip, and you've got to keep an eye on this slip cordon. It is a cold day, and when it's like this, you sometimes don't want the ball to come to you. Those fingers are freezing. They'll have probably some hand warmers in the pocket, tape on their hands. Really got to want it to come to you, even though it is freezing cold.
Sure.
36 for none.
This broadcast is co-presented by JSW Cement. Start strong, grow stronger. In association with Oak Smith Gold. Packaged drinking water.
This is an epic story.
That was awesome.
Billy Gray, the lights are coming on here at Headingley. That often makes a difference. Obviously, cloud cover hasn't swung yet.
Always thought lights on felt advantage bowler. Always enjoyed the lights coming on, just whether it just feels like it moves a bit later. Batter sometimes gets a different visual of the ball. Actually, the lights sometimes shine off the shinier ball, so it looks a bit different when it's coming down at you. So I do see that as an advantage to the bowler.
बॉल डले ओए यार
Crawley's still a yard out of his crease. Since he got the one that nipped back and kept a bit low, he's advanced, batting out of his crease. What would you do when you see a batter like that?
Not changed too much, really. I'd be asking backward point, how far is he out his crease? If it's a foot, then I'd just try and drag my length back. a foot too, and the awareness of if you hit him on the pad. Actually, the review, the LBW is a different decision because he's so far out. But I think when someone's that far down, they're trying to take the stumps out of play, looking for the outside edge, hitting the pitch, not allowing him to drive.
सिंगल मिल गया. अब मुझे लगता है अटैक करेंगे. अटैक करेगा बुमराह सिराज पे. बुमराह पे तो ट्राई करा था और इस पर ही करेगा. सोलह रन बने अभी तक तो आज के दिन. क्या बोल रहा है वो? मैं तो बोला था वो अटैक करेगा. अब डेकेट अपने हाथ खोलेगा, स्कोर करेगा.
Siraj immediately unhappy with his mid-on. The mid-on had crept in and not walked back. Change of right left hand, just slightly in the wrong position. Went aerial for a bit. Krishna just slightly in the wrong position. Allows that ball to go to the boundary.
He's bowled nicely, mainly to Zach Crawley. Not much swing, so he's hit the deck hard and tried to nip it back in. Crawley's getting in some good positions as well. That's coming down straight.
Crawley को
big and hit him on the thigh pad there.
टकेट को ही पहले का भी अच्छा ओवर
It's
डाला था.
pretty good. It's a good contest out there, as it should be.
It's those dismissals you're looking for. Day 5 of a test match, hitting the surface, indifferent bounce, nipping the ball back towards the stumps. India unhappy with the ball that they have, showing a bit of maybe just gone slightly out of shape already, which is a concern after just 13.4 overs. If it goes through that metal ring, you got to carry on.
Yeah, and it's not swinging. Maybe that's the cold, blustery conditions, but they've not had much swing. They've had a bit of seam. It's gone at short mid-on the drive where Duckett hit in the air for that boundary. Aaron Nair, short mid-on.
कॉर्नर को वहाँ प्लेस कर दिया जहाँ पहले बॉल गई थी, पर एक बार फिर ट्राई करे तो मज़ा ही आ गया. कैच आएगा, नहीं करेगा.
41 for none.
त्यागी भैया, ये अपने जेन बोल्ट अंग्रेजों पे भारी पड़ेंगे ना. अरे आप जेन गोल्ड के बिना सब कुछ शुभ शुभ होगा ना. अरे इंडिया सीरीज जीतेगी ना. भाई अनंत, तेरे कठिन सवालों का ना नहीं है अंत. कोई जीते ना जीते, तुम जरूर जीत सकते हो. विंजो प्रेजेंट्स जीतो धनादन. जीतो टैब पर जाओ, शुभ मन से सवालों के जवाब दो और हर मैच में जीत सकते हो 1 लाख के गोल्ड वाउचर. गोल्ड खेलना है और भी बोल्ड, तो विंजो ऐप पर खेलो लूडो, कैरम जैसे 100 से भी ज्यादा गेम्स और जीतो करोड़ों इनाम. जीतो धनादन ऑन जियो हॉटस्टार.
From this end in the first innings, the feeling is taller bowlers.
No, अपर की बारी आ गई. अब ये है कि भाई वेट ना दे, फालतू के रन ना खाए. अब माधव कृष्ण आप पिछले मैच में 3 विकेट टेस्ट करिए यार, इंटरनेशनल टेस्ट करिए, 3 विकेट लेके गया. Now
down the hill just dragged you a bit fuller. I think he was a bit
trying to
short
take
in the
some
first
wickets
innings, although it
to
is a
change this
strength
match.
of his hitting the pitch.
Ball यार पहली बढ़िया.
I expect it to take a couple of balls, maybe an over or so, to settle. Overs up the hill. This is his first go down the hill, so the strike pattern will be slightly different. Don't be surprised if there's the odd no ball.
Went for over 6 and over.
क्या
Went for
यार
28.
का यहाँ पर भी कुछ
India have
परफॉर्म करके
control
देता
at the
बेटर होगा
moment.
इंडिया के लिए.
And Krishna keep that control.
बोल यार.
Immediately after 2 balls, Krishna seems to have found a better length.
You just thought you've had a few too many beers reading that broadie, did you?
बॉल यार कंटिन्यूसली सही बॉल है. आज मुझे तो लगता है पेसर्स को स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं बढ़िया बॉल डालने सारे.
You seem to be the go-to man.
इनके खेलता तो बेटर रहता है सच में बिल्कुल ऐसा लगता है.
Charge of the South African bowling attack for the World Test Championship final.
क्योंकि शार्दुल को बेचारा घंटा परफॉर्म नहीं करा इस मैच में. ना बॉलिंग से ना बैटिंग से. बैटिंग से तो मेन था वहाँ पे, तो परफॉर्म ही नहीं कर पाया बिल्कुल भी.
What did you say?
So they've got the whole England team staring at me right now. I can't give too many tips away.
Bowl our follies.
Bowl our follies, yeah. No, just, I think in blustery conditions they're very difficult to bowl in, to be honest. You need to keep balance, short stride pattern, don't overstride to the crease. Keep the tempo in your run-up, but almost a bit calmer in your run-up, because you need to be balanced at the crease to be able to hit the pitch as hard as you can.
पंगोड़ आ रखा था.
Krishna's bowling into a
तो कौन सा वैसे चला रखा था 22 पे.
because they're really blustery. It might calm down as you turn at the back end of your mark. Halfway through your run up, it just knocks you off balance. Ultimately, if it does really knock you off balance at a crucial point, pull out.
Now take wicket man कृष्णा. ओए यार यही दिक्कत है इनके. टेस्ट शॉट खेलते हैं, चौका जाता है लग के.
It's just a bit of width.
और वेट वही इनकी पहले की वेट से इनकी आएगी. इनकन्सिस्टेंसी वाली बॉलिंग होगी, कंसिस्टेंसी होगी नहीं बॉलिंग में, तो ओवर वेट्स मिलेगी, फिर बैट्समैन का चौका चौका निकलेगा. और टिकट तो टिकट में कोई ज़्यादा लगता है कोहली से ज़्यादा अटैक करेगा हम पे. बॉल यार तो
poorly back in because Krishna got a hand on that, but a bit of swing. So Krishna, first time we've seen it on day 5, 46 for none. Oh, South Africa winning the World Test Championship. About his mitt work today. Very fine. South African fast bowler Morne Morkel, brilliant from round the wicket to left-handers. 309 wickets at 27 a bit.
Yeah, we're just smiling every time I look up in the mornings when he's mitting. He's diving on the floor, the ball's going flying past him. Might do a third piece on his analysis of Morne Morkel catching. Tough part of the job. He was talking about wobble. Morne Morkel came over to me. What should I do about the wobble behind the stumps?
पता लगता है मोर्ने मोर्कल कुछ ज़्यादा ही समझा.
Settled into coaching really well though, Morne Morkel, hasn't he? He's got a brilliant job with the Indian team, working with not just the bowlers playing now, but the next generation, and developing them. What I have I've noticed being at Headingley, every break there is in play. The England team are on the field working with the players that aren't playing in this test match.
Ball.
Which also could lean you into thinking that they will make changes throughout this test match series. There will be opportunities for particularly their bowlers. Who those bowlers will be sure that Ashdeep Singh will get a go. The left armour can swing the ball back. Look at somewhere like Lords where it can swing in the right conditions, where he could be a real threat.
Simply because he was so far down the crease, but he did shuffle across.
DRS लिया.
Have a look. Remember, Crawley batting out of his pitch and shuffling down the crease.
Budget director, we have a player review for LBW. On-field decision is not out. I've checked the field placement and it's a fair delivery. Can I have the frontal first, please? Ball passes close to the bat. Can I have authorized to check?
लग रहा है कि आउट है.
Keep rolling.
ये बैट तो लगा नहीं. मतलब बाउंस ना हो तो ये बाउंस ना फंसा दे गेम को. हमारे साथ ये रहता है कहीं तो बाउंस है कुछ है. बंदा काफ़ी आगे बढ़ा. हट यार. मिसिंग वही लग रहा था कि
Stuart Broad said in the last over that because he's batting out of his crease, means you have to just think about the review, and as well as in charging, you have to think about the review even more.
Well, on the replay, I thought, that's really close. A good view from side on, showing how far that Crawley is. Taking the LBW really out of the equation. That's why he's out his crease. Sometimes you can bring the wicketkeeper up to the stumps to stop the batter doing that.
Good half stop. That would have gone away for a boundary.
ठाकुर बॉल नहीं पकड़ पा रहे.
On the up. 48 for none after 16.
This broadcast is co-presented by JSW Cement. Start strong, grow stronger in association with Oak Smith Gold, packaged drinking water.
बैकवर्ड पॉइंट भेज दिया भाई जायसवाल को गिल ने.
That's right. Butcher has gutted. He had a third man piece to go, and he asked the producer, "Can I do third man?" And he said no. Been overruled for cake.
Oh.
Perfect length. Exactly the length you want to be bowling on this surface. Duck it, unsure whether to go forward or back. Seam up, bit of nibble, draw him into the shot. Really good bit of bowling. It certainly looks a better rhythm than he has done in the whole test match so far. And India just need a little bit of luck now.
Well, for that reason, Shubman Gill has just gone up next to Duckett and looked at his slip cord and said, right, this particular bowler now is finding some rhythm. Should I give him an extra slip?
Oh. अरे यार.
And that's just gone past Rishabh Pant. It died on him. 50 up for England.
Yeah, 50 up and game on. They'll certainly be in India's mind now. Okay, we haven't got a wicket. 50 odd minutes gone. A lot of batting to come, a few concerned faces out there, and what you don't need is these sort of freebies. Very difficult for a wicketkeeper when it rolls through and bounces just in front of you. Not much you can do about that.
अरे यार.
The shiny side's on the outside, which means he's looking to swing the ball and move the ball back towards Ben Duckett, which is drawing Ben Duckett into the shot, and then it's just nipping away.
Ball यार कृष्णा.
News from the com box. This immaculate Stuart Broad has spilled cake on his trousers. Still looks very smart. Scoop.
Oh.
Luckily he didn't get a feather on it. This is good from India because it's making England just go almost into white ball mode. We've seen Crawley charge twice and Duckett now tried to scoop because they're getting no freebies. And the Indian captain realising they're doing a good job if England are turning to these white ball shots.
Yeah, and Duckett will be annoyed at himself here because that is one of his best shots. Very consistent at hitting that, but on the day 5 surface, slightly slower, a bit inconsistent in pace. Brings a bit of danger into that because it doesn't just bounce as true as you think.
Short यार.
Excellent. That will just ease the pressure because the run rate is not what you expect from these England openers. It's 56 for none.
Read, memorize, repeat.
Don't ask questions, just mark the answers.
Just by heart it.
This is not the way. You should not do it like this.
Just by heart it.
अरे यार लॉर्ड शार्दुल आ गए. ब्रेक थ्रू तो दिलवा रहे थे पिछले सीरीज में, दिला रहे थे, आज दिला पाएंगे नहीं दिला पाएंगे।
Look to find the boundary, be positive. Bat swaying.
बहुत शॉट पहले भाई।
This is the problem for India backup seamers. This could be an opportunity for England.
Crucial part of the game, this. To back up a good hour that the Indian bowlers have done, and that is not the way you do it. Round the wicket, missing 2 sets of stumps down the leg side. All Duckett needs to do is tuck it round the corner. And the reason he played the scoop in the last over is because he's had no freebies. That really was a freebie. Defensive field, no slip.
Fair bara.
He has to balance whether to bowl Jadeja or whether to bowl Thakur. Now, Shardul Thakur had a great game at the Oval against England. He got runs and some very valuable wickets as well. And then Burns, 3 in the game. Joe Root as well, the key wicket. It's the debate as a captain. Do you back someone that you've picked here, who hasn't done much in the game, try and give him some confidence and ease him into the game? Or do you bring on Jadeja at that far end? He's gone with his 4-seamer, he's trying to give some confidence to Shardul Thakur. Done. 63 for none. Time for drinks.
ये वाला तो सिक्सर है। कौन सा फ्लेवर बिजनेस बढ़ाएगा? ये खूबसूरत चिंता आप करिए।
But this is Wimbledon.
This is 30th June, only on Jio Hotstar and Star Sports Network.
त्यागी भैया, ये अपने जेन बोल्ट अंग्रेजों पे भारी पड़ेंगे ना? अरे आप जेन गोल्ड के बिना सब कुछ शुभ शुभ होगा ना? अरे इंडिया सीरीज जीतेगी ना? भाई अनंत, तेरे कठिन सवालों का ना नहीं है अंत। कोई जीते न जीते, तुम जरूर जीत सकते हो। विंजो प्रेजेंट्स जीतो धन धनाधन। जीतो टैब पर जाओ, शुभ मन से सवालों के जवाब दो और हर मैच में जीत सकते हो 1 लाख के गोल्ड वाउचर। गोल्ड खेलना है और भी बोल्ड, तो विंजो ऐप पर खेलो लूडो, कैरम जैसे 100 से भी ज्यादा गेम्स और जीतो करोड़ों इनाम। जीतो धन धनाधन on Jio Hotstar.
Dominic Toretto, you don't know me.
You're about to.
Get down!
We're being invented. If a war's coming, we're gonna face him on the streets we know best. Daddy's gotta go to work.
He'll come at you and your friends with everything he's got.
Going old school!
I don't have friends. I got family.
Welcome to America.
Make your mouth.
Far beyond the castle wall dwells the fairest one of all.
My name is Snow White.
Isn't this just wonderful? Goodbye, Whoopi. Disney Snow White.
Very good. Well worth the wait. Yeah, he's got a bit on his plate today, Shubman Gill. First test match as India's captain. Good afternoon, DK. What have you made of the first hour?
Afternoon, Waddy. Afternoon to everyone watching. I thought India bowled really nicely. But this is the tricky part at Leeds. You need your backup bowlers on days like this to come good. And also, the first session produces the least amount of runs. The second session is when you tend to go for a lot of runs. So India can't look to just stop runs. They need to pick up wickets, which they've tried so far in the first session, but they haven't managed to get one though.
We heard Mark Butcher say there about a second slip. Mike Clafton was being that he felt they should have a second slip. Do you?
When you speak about having one fielder, where do you remove the other fielder from? Right now they have a deep square leg. They could take that to second slip, which means that they need to be slightly on and around off stump a little more. They can't get into the stumps. But Krishna has really started nicely in this spell. He wanted to bowl from the Kirkhall end and he's got it. He's hit the right lengths. He's been slightly fuller than the first innings, which is what you would want any bowler to do in Leeds.
Probably just prods the pitch where that delivery landed. Sort of around the area where at times we have seen some lavish bounce. And today Zach Crawley has held that blade fully straight. Back to his dismissal in the first innings, it was a sensational delivery from Jasprit Bumrah, but he was trying to work to leg. The advantage advantage of your idea, DK, of bringing deep square across to second slip is that might encourage Crawley to just go across the ball.
There's been a lot of energy as well. You had this camp, you can hear a lot of them cheering. They want it. Team India genuinely have been ahead in this test for a much longer period than England. That's the beauty of this England team. They've just found a way to stay alive in this test.
Well, that's a fantastic area to attack Zach Crawley, any batsman really, but particularly on this pitch. Crawley again managing just to keep the face of the bat as square as possible, not coming across it. See how he just, his bottom hand almost just tries to keep that face pointing back to the bowler. That's the challenge when you're bowling at Crawley and Duckett. Very different in stature.
Read, memorize, repeat. Don't ask questions, just mark the answers. Just by heart it. This is not the way. You should not do it like this. Just by heart it.
He isn't. He needs one of his lieutenants to provide that. Maybe some magic at some point from that man. It's Sardal to continue from the football stand end. First over went for 7. It wasn't full of discipline. There's a catcher for Crawley at mid-wicket and very close to the pitch straight. Excellent running. Very good understanding though. Batted a lot together. And with time in the middle together, that understanding grows.
अभी तक विकेट नहीं गिरा भाइयों। भाई 50 रन और नहीं देने इस सेशन में। अगर हम 250 तक पहुंच जाएंगे तो उनके पास 125 2 सेशन के रह जाएंगे और विकेट अभी तक मिला नहीं है, तो हम बैकफुट पे हैं। अभी कंटिन्यूसली वहीं पे बॉल डाले जा रहे हैं, सिंगल मिले जा रहा है, ईजिली खेले जा रहा है डकेट। और मैंने जैसे बोला था डकेट ही अटैक करेगा, डकेट ही अटैक कर रहा है।
England need to be wary of that. He does have that wicket-taking knack, which is why he's playing in this. That's why he's playing the 11 in this game.
Crawley out of his crease again in his stance. The periods of dominance that India have had in this test match, and then England have managed to drag it back. Primarily that's the tail end. Tail end hasn't provided you anything really, DK, even though middle orders
50 रन आ चुके हैं। 13.3 और 13.3 ओवर्स में 50, क्योंकि अभी इतने मतलब 26-27 ओवर तो डलेंगे इस सेशन में, 50 ओवर ना पड़ जाए। अभी सेशन होने में 50-60 मिनट, 1 घंटा में मेनली।
easily been ahead by 100 runs more this test, and that would eventually come back to.
जैसे कि मैंने बोला था वही सेम बात डीके कह रहा है कि अगर वो कैच पकड़ लेते तो हम 100 रन से ज़्यादा आगे होते हैं और 450 रन की लीड होती है पे।
Jaswal's had a challenging time of it. Behind the batsman, that was one that Pant, in DK's opinion, should have taken off the edge of Harry Brook's bat. That was a tough chance, short leg. They've put enough down that it has cost them dear.
वाह, शार्दुल को मोर ज़्यादा बोलेंगे ना, क्रॉली को डालना चाहिए, अगर वो विकेट को तो सिंगल दिलवा ही रहा है बॉल पे।
This broadcast is co-presented by JSW Cement. Start strong, grow stronger. In association with Oak Smith Gold, packaged drinking water.
What do you think the gist of that conversation was, DK? The advice that's going the captain's way?
They're speaking about the colours field being slightly squarer when the ball is swinging, and then probably bringing back a little straighter when it stops swinging at the moment. Because in the middle of a good spell, in the end, that most fast bowlers seem to like bowling.
Shot.
Magnificent. Made a wonderful sound off the bat of Ben Duckett.
Duckett on charge.
Ben Duckett has been very positive from the get-go. Cautiously yesterday, today, he's been on the money. The usual Ben Duckett that you've come to know. Anything full, anything short, he's put away with genuine aplomb.
The previous over, he pulled Russell Krishna for 4 imperiously through the leg side. This time slightly over pitched, and Duckett has held the pose.
Oi.
Good comeback.
कंटिन्यूसली हो रहा है, मिस एज लग ही नहीं रही है, और ये इंडियंस होते एज लग चुकी होती।
He needs to have a plan, speak to the bowler and back the field that he's set. The moment you start following the ball, you're going to be running around in circles.
Yeah, the result of that drive was that one of the catchers from behind the wicket came to catch that extra cover. But if the ball's moved like the previous one did, it's got to go through that gap.
यार खड़ी, ओए यार,
And he's hit himself.
मिला खड़ी हो गई।
It's one of his shots. He's tried it twice and failed. Failed twice. Didn't make contact to the first one. Got pinned the second one.
As soon as he played that shot, KL Rahul, Rishabh Pant, everybody egging him on to say they really love that shot and they want a few more of that.
Scooped it onto his bicep. Ouch. Rishabh's probably thinking he should have played the fall over scoop.
एक और कर, मेरे को लगता है इसे भी ट्राई करें। वाह वाह, मैं कह रहा था एक और कर इसे भी ट्राई करें यार, वो थोड़ी बाहर थी विकेट से, विकेट में होती तो भाई, विकेट तो मिलता नहीं, इतनी बढ़िया बॉलिंग करने के बाद नहीं मिला। वही अब किस्मत का खेल चल रहा है हमारे साथ। We need wickets. We need We need wickets, ball, and it's a 4.
Very, very quick onto anything short.
Spoke about why it's so much tougher. Because the links constantly keep changing as a bowler, and that's been one of their strengths and why they've been successful so far. Again, a short one, you can see. And Duckett is very close to the stumps. Tells you how deep he is. Getting on top of the ball. India will slowly start feeling the pressure rising up on them.
अब कब हमारे सामने जड्डू आएगा भी पता चलेगा. अब जड्डू को भी ला नहीं सकते क्योंकि क्रोली है. क्रोली कह रहा हूँ, डकेट है और डकेट ही आउट नहीं हो रहा. 50 से 1 रन दूर है बस. 15 ओवर डल चुके हैं सेशन में. 15 ओवर डल मतलब डलने में 30 होना चाहिए. 15 ओवर डलने चाहिए और डलेंगे कम. 12-13 ओवर. अब 2000 रन से ज़्यादा की पार्टनरशिप हो चुकी है आज तक इनके. 5 का रन रेट ब्रो, 5 का एवरेज 40.6. 48 इनिंग्स में मतलब 24 मैच है. हाँ ऑलमोस्ट 24 मैच है. मतलब वो तो 24 मैच होंगे. किसी में सिंगल इनिंग भी खेली होगी इनने. किसी में पहली बॉल पे इनिंग का मैच खत्म होगा. ये तो
The other thing of that split screen you put up there, the one on the left, where he's facing Krishna, how late he let the ball come to him. Crawley sometimes, because of the nature of how he wants to play, has let the ball come slightly further out in front of him or side of the tackle, but that's perhaps mentally because he's perhaps trying to go after the tackle. But a ramrod straight bat on the left-hand side. He's had to battle hard. He's leapt on anything slightly overpitched, anything short.
It's a 50 for Duckett. ये तो होना ही था भाई की सिंगल दे ही देगा अब शार्दुल इसको आसानी से. डकेट तुमको याद होगा 2016 की सीरीज़ में भी आया था इंडिया खेलने, जब बिल्कुल भी स्पिन नहीं खेल पा रहा था और फिर स्क्वाड से ड्रॉप हुआ. कीटिंग जेनिंग्स आया फिर इसकी जगह पे एंड मोर थिंग्स हुई. मैं डकेट ज़्यादा नीचे खेल रहा था यार, ओपनिंग कर रहा था याद नहीं मेरे को, और खेल रहा था डकेट उस सीरीज़ में. और डकेट उसके बाद मतलब जब सर ने खेलने का तरीका चेंज करा, मतलब पूरी इंग्लैंड ने चेंज करा, तब डकेट को टीम में लिया गया. क्रोली को लिया गया. पहले बंस और सिबली क्या नाम था उसका, कुछ ऐसा कुछ नाम था, वो कर रहे थे पिछली सीरीज में. बॉल चेंज कराने की कोशिश, निकल गई बॉल. डलेगी अभी भी. बिना विकेट के मैच नहीं जीत सकती भाई. विकेट तो लेना, मतलब मैच तो जीतेंगे नहीं अगर विकेट नहीं लेंगे तो. मतलब कि बचा भी नहीं सकते अगर विकेट नहीं लेंगे तो. मेरे को तो लग रहा है जिस तरीके से खेल रहे हैं ये दोनों कर देंगे.
This is definitely not good bowling from Shardul Thakur. He needs to look at himself like how he would look if he was playing for Mumbai in Ranji Trophy. What would he do if Mumbai was on the field right now? Is he going to give away these easy cover drives and the singles around the point area, or is he going to find a way to say, I'm the guy who wants to pick up the wicket? It's just a shift in attitude, which he definitely needs to have now.
Maybe a shift in pace for India. Jadeja into the attack.
बॉल यार विकेट लो और बॉल तो इतनी मर्जी अच्छी डाल लो.
And again, a small little example where Shubman Gill has just plugged another gap or a boundary is gone. Before the cover drive, he had shot mid-wicket, but now he's positioned himself at short covers and put a short point fielder as well. Just plugging holes and making sure boundaries don't come. But at the back of that thought process should also be pick up a wicket here.
Well, there's one ball remaining in this over. Surely he's got to go Jadeja Bumrah at some point. They're going to try and change the ball again. It back to Sardal and says get on with it.
Ben Deckard said it's just been one ball since you asked for it.
And it wasn't exactly pounded to the fence, was it? They do manage.
जब से मैंने बोला कि भाई साहब अब रन नहीं देने जा रहा था उसमें 15 रन 3 ओवर में आ चुके. एक और शॉट.
87 without loss.
They must be feeling the pressure now. This is when your mind can play games.
Quiet, please.
But this is Wimbledon.
This is Wimbledon. Starts 30th June, only on Geo Hotstar and Star Sports Network.
A strong England partnership where every ball is looked at as a run-scoring opportunity. I might say so, a modern-day partnership. Not the usual ones where they're leaving balls and waiting for time. They're just going at it, looking for a boundary if possible. Every time someone bowls to them.
और शार्दुल 5 की इकोनॉमी से बॉल डाल रहा है.
Yes, but also a small shift in mindset. What am I doing this over to pick up a wicket should be the question they're constantly asking. And this man on screen, big role to play, Jadeja. That holding role he needs to do today. Speak about the scars some of the fast bowlers could have. 4 of the 5 have played in that one-off test that happened. There on the last day they came out all guns blazing. There's not much happening in this pitch. The lights are out though. There's a bit of swing probably. Team India definitely should have a very concrete plan as to how they want to be bowling in this session now.
And then stick to it. As opposed to fiddling around with the field, but that means the bowlers have got to provide the discipline.
यार.
I imagine at some point this ball will be changed. It invariably does. For all sides coming to the UK. As soon as they get that changed, surely it's got to be Bumrah. Because it tends to come out of the box a little harder. There might just be a bit more form.
I get the feeling Jadeja is going to be coming in very soon.
Got to, surely.
They have a left-hander as well, Ben Deckard.
Or 2 straight away from Duckett, and they will come back for a couple.
Cost 36 runs, and then the next 9 have gone at 54. That's 6 runs and over. And this is what a lot of people are fearing. What is India's second run bowling going to be doing in this match?
Every now and again, Bassett could do something like that. He took wickets in the first innings, as did Siraj, but they were expensive. They leaked runs.
Still plenty of time and runs England need to get. All it takes is a couple of wickets. The context and the complexion of this game will be very different. Well taken.
More runs are required. 73 overs and 1 ball remaining in the day. 3 point what, Benny? Required rate, roughly 3.8 from here on in.
Ball.
2 again. 92 without loss. Duckett is 54 and Crawley 32 not out.
He's looked solid at the crease so far with some sumptuous shots. Check drive. That's an area he loves playing. Cover drive and the cut. Slightly short. Put away with utter disdain.
Yes. Form in all forms of the game has been really impressive, really consistent. Finds ways of putting bowlers under pressure. Oh, you got your wish. DK, you know your onions. Here comes the left.
Jadeja is here for the...
Now as Jadeja is just marking his run, Duckett is just busy trying to play the sweeps, the reverse sweep, the normal sweep. You kind of know what he's going to be trying to do. Other side, just again getting warmed up. Probably another spell before lunch. They'll require at least 4 to 5 spells of Bumrah.
See the ball.
In a bizarre way, looking a lot further forward. Discussion about how many test matches Jasprit Bumrah will play. The more miles they put into his legs in this game as well may affect future test matches. Got a big gap between this test match finishing and the second in Birmingham starting. Then it all gets quite tight in the schedule. So it'll be a sweep, a reverse sweep. Jadeja has rough outside Duckett's off stump to work with.
He's definitely not going to shy away from playing all the sweeps that he's aware of. He said he has 100 varieties in it, if I remember right. But I'm sure he's brought it down to a few important ones for today.
How many varieties?
I remember there was an interview with Nas and Nath, and he said, somewhere, maybe 100 is a bit too much, maybe 20. Well, I didn't have so many, I can tell you that.
Ball.
Trying to think of 100 different variants of the sweep shot.
But he did bring out quite a few varieties when he played in India. He was batting brilliantly in Rajkot. He just didn't know what to do when he was batting. Exaggerating. The fact is that Ben Duckett is a very strong user of the sweep shot. India making a field change, point coming to short square leg. They're having the same field that they had for him just before he got out in the first innings, which is a whitish colors and a deep point. No mid-off, no man in front.
He's going to play it, and there is protection down there for that reason. 24 done, 96 without loss.
Selling.
This broadcast is co-presented by JSW Cement. Start strong, grow stronger. In association with Oak Smith Gold. Packaged drinking water.
Well, it's been a perfect morning for England. It was a tough first hour. They're now going at nearly 6 and over in the last 10 overs as Ben Duckett has gone past 50. This partnership going dangerously, inching towards 100. Prasid. Yes, at this stage of the game, you now ask, right, have India got their tactics right? Has Shubman Gill managed to get the balance between attack and defence right? And questions that Sanjay Manjrekar and Stuart Broad can dive into.
Couple of big takeaways for me. One is obviously the pitch I thought would have something more for the seam bowlers, considering this is a pretty hard ball. We've not seen the kind of lateral movement we saw yesterday. Zero help in the air, and even Bumrah, looked by his standards lackluster. There was one great delivery that he bowled, but the ball hasn't deviated as much of the pitch, or there's been no movement in the air. That's one thing. A no ball from Prasid. The other obviously has been talked about a lot until now has been Shubman Gill's tactics. Clearly he's played the reputation of the English batters, and he's sort of preempted their approach, set the field, and is playing the waiting game. And that's where I think maybe now you can say it's a bit of a mistake. As Stuart Broad, Steve Harmison before the game were talking quite vehemently about Shubman Gill starting off positively despite England's reputation, sending a message across that we've got enough runs on the board and we're going to try and get you all out very quickly, and that hasn't happened.
I think you're spot on. There hasn't been the sideways movement we might expect the clouds here at Headingley, but it is blustering, very cold out there, so I think that's taken away the swing. There's still been a little bit of invariable bounce.
He's grown in confidence, Zach Crowley. That's a classy way to bring up the 100 for England. 100 of the opening partnership. They continue to find boundaries at ease.
Certainly advantage England at the moment. 100 partnership going it over 4 and over without too many concerns. India need to find a way to stop the ball going to the boundary. I think defensive fielders spread, deep square leg, deep cover on the boundary, but England are playing so positively. Crawley will be absolutely thrilled being part of this 100 partnership. They really complement each other well. Ben Duckett, short in stature, Zach Crawley's foot sticks, but they can hit different lengths in different places. That's why this England management is so keen on these two opening the batting against India and Australia in the future. They really have set this game up beautifully. 102 for none, 269 to win. A perfect start from England.
And the concerning thing for India is that they
no man's land.
It's that kind of morning. It's been Zach Crowley's morning. He's tried several things to get the fluency. It's not come. Important part for him and for England is he survives.
Well, I guess Croy saw in the first innings Harry Brook playing this shot against Prasid Krishna. Same kind of length. He's a tall man. I think he's relaxed now as well, set. When you reach your 40s, you feel you're in. And I guess in many ways the length and the angle as well was perfect. He was looking to play the big shot, so he wasn't worried about the field inside the ground.
Yeah.
We have a third man. Yes, we have. And it's that man. They've displayed normally. And they're scoring at a very healthy strike rate. 4.24 is the run rate. That's the worrying thing for India. 106 for the wicket.
3 से रन रेट 4 हो गया.
त्यागी भैया
गेम हमारे हाथ से निकल गया.
अंग्रेजों पे भारी पड़ेंगे ना. अब चेन गोल के बिना सब कुछ शुभ शुभ होगा ना. अरे इंडिया सीरीज जीतेगी ना. भाई अनंत, तेरे कठिन सवालों का ना नहीं है अंत. कोई जीते ना जीते, तुम जरूर जीत सकते हो. विंजो प्रेजेंट्स जीतो धनादन. जीतो टैब पर जाओ, शुभ मन से सवालों के जवाब दो और हर मैच में जीत सकते हो 1 लाख के गोल्ड वाउचर. गोल्ड खेलना है और भी गोल्ड, तो विंजो ऐप पर खेलो लूडो, कैरम जैसे 100 से भी ज्यादा गेम्स और जीतो करोड़ों इनाम. जीतो धनादन ऑन जियो हॉटस्टार.
Right, where's the inspiration coming from for India? Did give Shardul Thakur a go after Mohammad Siraj had bowled from the football stand-in. Prasid followed from Bumrah's end. It's been expensive, but dare I say, he's bowled better than those figures suggest. Doesn't change the fact that England are growing in control. Jadeja.
Ball.
Shubman Gill looking for ideas. They're in that situation where they can try and make one breakthrough. They can really squeeze Ollie Pope, who would be the new batter. They need to find a way. One of these batters to make a mistake. Sanjay, you mentioned to me before a ball was even bowled in this test match whether Kuldeep Yadav should have played, and I think Shubman Gill right now would be thinking, I would love a leg spinning option.
Oh yeah.
This one's gone to Bumrah's. Still saving one. Last over, attempted a reverse sweep, went aerial to where a conventional point would have been. But even in Jadeja's first over,
over में 12 ओवर में 42 रन अगले
that's the difference. Once
उस घंटे के बाद 7 ओवर डले 43 रन दे चुके 6.1 के रन रेट से.
Scored just 60 yesterday.
It's been kind of organic, the growth of this innings. They started off watchfully, giving respect to the over conditions. Bumrah was having his first spell, and there was a lot of dogged defensive batting. But since then, they've also organically become a little more attacking and fluid.
Ball, yeah.
Question to Stewart, and this is the last ball of the over, so continue in the next over as well. I mean, the general feeling is that Gill has been far too defensive. Is that a fair assessment for a young captain playing against an intimidating English batting lineup and potential style of him? Tell us next over. 107 for the wicket.
They must be feeling the pressure now. This is when your mind can play games.
Quiet, please.
But this is Wimbledon.
This is Wimbledon. Starts 30th June, only on Geo Hotstar and Star Sports Network.
जो दिन टेस्ट मैच का थ्रिलर होना चाहिए था वो अभी तक सिर्फ एक तरफा चल रहा है. इंग्लैंड के तरफ अब बुमराह वापसी आ चुके हैं. क्या ब्रेक थ्रू मिलेगा? बॉल तो चेंज हुई नहीं है.
20 minutes to go to lunch. They'd love to have a different ball. There have been a few petitions made to the umpire to change the ball. None with success.
I know Bumrah might distract you from the answer that we're seeking from you, Stewart.
Shot.
Yeah, tough for a young man to be aggressive against a team like this, but I guess trick missed by India.
Yeah, you pick your times, I think. You know, Now Bumrah's back into the attack. You can trust that he will deliver a good level of skill, so you can attack with your field more. I think particularly Thakur wasn't necessarily hitting the right areas of the pitch hard enough, so had to go really defensive with his fields. But now he's in a position, 20 minutes till lunch, very experienced, high quality bowlers on. Bumrah, Jadeja, this is your time to attack, this is your time to try and pick up a couple of wickets leading into the lunch break. So if England get to this lunch break at 130, 140 for not, all their talk, all their focus will be on winning this game. So India need to drag some of this momentum back. This is the right call. Get your best two bowlers on now.
Ball.
Was a comeback spell that he bowled around the wicket to get Ben Duckett. Now, just notice this. Look at how late ball rifles is checking in if the ball's happening or not. At times, the batter's got every right to pull away. Roddy's shaking his head.
Do you know what? Goodness me, if that had been out, there would have been a real question mark over that, especially with the jumper flapping around behind him as well.
No, Siraj pushing crowd too.
Siraj is urging the crowd to get their voice up.
Ball.
There's also this other thing to send a message to the opposition. When Shubman Gill comes in final day morning and set a field just to send a message to England that we believe we have enough runs on the board and we're going to try and get you guys out before tea, and have a field just to tell England that and try and get some kind of psychological advantage in your favor. Although the pitch did nothing for him, he doesn't have the bowling that he would like, barring Bumrah. Sometimes you do that to create the illusion. And I dare say, I mean, it's unfair on Shubman Gill again. He's a guy that we expect him to have that kind of a bravado.
आवाज मार रही है अब.
Set the field, if it doesn't make cricketing sense.
जा रहा हूँ.
Just to let the opposition know that we believe we have a great chance of winning.
Scored him 5 times in 15 innings. Jasprit Bumrah behind the 6th of Zach Crawley. His moments are good to do.
Ball.
You have to look at Ben Duckett versus Bumrah. Stuart, he averages 41 against Bumrah, and Bumrah's career bowling average is 19.
He's a really difficult batter to bowl at, Ben Duckett. Doesn't necessarily play with the full face of the bat down the ground in the V. Like traditionally we're taught, he's always looking square of the wicket, cover point, a little bit sort of David Warner-like in a sense, but he can hit off stump to the leg side, he's very quick onto the short ball. He's also got the ability to scoop and play spin superbly well as well.
Ball.
Just a symbol of that, Jasprit Bumrah over on his comeback, 108 without loss.
Read, memorize, repeat. Don't ask questions, just mark the answers. Just by heart it. This is not the way. You should not do it like this. Just by heart it.
Now this is a significant moment. With about 15 minutes to go for lunch, India have tried on at least 2 or 3 occasions to get that ball changed. It's gone through both those hoops, so it's been unsuccessful, but now it looks like this ball will be changed, and this is relevant to the course of how this innings has gone, as Brody will testify, as will Sanjay.
I think India made at least 7 or 8 attempts to get the ball changed. This is the second time they have been successful. Could be a big moment. With the ball, I was just talking off air with Stuart about how this pitch seems like it's gone to sleep. And you were suggesting, Stuart, it's more the ball than the pitch.
Yeah, I just heard, I think on the stump mic, Rishabh Pant celebrating like he'd scored a goal. I heard him go, come on, like that when they agreed to change the ball, because this is a really crucial moment in the game. You're right, it looks like the pitch has gone a bit flat, but it's because the ball has gone out of shape and it's gone soft, so it's not responding from the surface. And now with, what, 15 minutes till lunch, getting a harder ball, maybe a bit of shine on it. Work really hard on this ball now, get good ball shiner.
चलो भाई अब इंडिया के लिए बॉल तो चेंज हो रही है.
As bright as possible. This could be a
क्या
really
पता
big
आप
moment in the game, actually.
हमारे पास
There's a reason why teams try
3-4
and change the
विकेट आ
ball
जाए
when it goes soft and out
और
of
हम
shape,
गेम में आगे हो जाए.
because it's not responding off the surface. So eagerly watching what Jasprit Bumrah can do once Jadeja is bowled. So that was a celebration.
It's just amazing the times that we live in television coverage. We got an insight into Rishabh Pant's brain when he was batting, and now we saw all the balls that were there in the briefcase of different age and look. It's just amazing with that camera. We saw each and every ball and the one that the umpires have selected. Now viewers, let's keep a close eye on the behavior of the ball, not when Jadeja is bowling, when the seamers do.
Yeah, in addition to what you've already seen on camera, in between overs, picked up on the stump mic a number of times where there are these unofficial inquiries made. I think umpire Gaffney once said, we've been over this, guys. Right, how many times? Anyway, it's the left arm spin of Jadeja with this changed ball.
Wonderful footage of Jadeja. I don't think I've ever seen
Now
him
we have to
celebrate
take
with
the
the
wicket,
umpire,
brother.
actually, when the ball's been changed. It was really fun footage of him doing that. Shows there's a nice relationship between the umpire and the players out there.
Something that you try to foster right to your career, isn't it?
अरे यार सिंगल दे दिया.
You have to work with the umpires. You know, if you do it in the wrong way, you keep throwing them the ball when the camera's on them and you make a big scene of it.
10 मिनट है भाई, सेशन खत्म होने में विकेट तो चाहिए.
Get a bit restrictive and won't check the ball as much. But if you do it in between overs and just say, oh, would you mind, Chris, just check that for me again. And eventually you know that ball will go out of shape and you'll get a new one. So India have done it the right way today, I think.
Oi.
Yeah, I mean, Rishabh Pant will remember this test match for a lot of good reasons, but he'll also have to carry from this an official reprimand for showing dissent, and that was when he tossed the ball in a manner that was contrary to the code of conduct.
Oi.
Yeah, just the way he flicked it and threw it away. It looked a little rude, and you saw Gaffney's reaction as well. He didn't quite appreciate that.
Oi.
I wonder with the ball change if Shubman Gill would have been keen to say, Jadeja, you know what, just hang on. Throw it to a seamer just to see, or shall I just be patient and an over and give it to Bumrah?
अब बुमराह ने पिछला ओवर डाला था बुमराह. ओए!
Who's Naz? But no harm done. It's been 3 overs with 3 runs in it. Bit of pressure building and the ball's been changed. Bumrah will be back next over. 109 without loss.
ये वाला तो गुगली है.
वो वाला?
ये वाला तो सिक्सर है. कौन सा फ्लेवर बिजनेस बढ़ाएगा? ये खूबसूरत चिंता आप करिए. बिजनेस लोन की चिंता हम संभाल लेंगे. With collateral free loan and tenure up to 7 years.
This broadcast is co-presented by JSW Cement. Start strong, grow stronger. In association with Oaksmith Gold. Packaged drinking water.
Right. India attacking. Slip cordon reinforced. Bumrah with the change ball. Round the wicket to Duckett.
Ball, yeah.
Ben Duckett's just going, what are you guys going on about?
Just the way he actually shapes up against Bumrah. Ben Duckett has looked the most comfortable. Just his whole demeanor against Bumrah is different from the others. You see Joe Root, the all-time great as well, being a little tentative, but Duckett just comes in and plays him very confidently. And obviously there's that record that he has, averages 41 against Bumrah, whose bowling average overall is 19. So Duckett has somehow been able to cope him or play Bumrah better than most, and it's coming into play today.
Sanjay, I know what you're doing. The commentator's curse is famous all around the world. I know what's going on here.
The next line for me, Stuart, was that he's looking as good as a Brian Lara or a Gary Sober's to me in the way he's playing, one of the all-time greats.
And he'll never get out to Bumrah. The pitch looks too good. No, but there is a little bit of away movement for Bumrah here. He's looking to bring the outside edge into play, bring Ben Duckett forward, just move the ball away, that half back width if he can.
Probably one down. Out.
We've not had much to go up about. I think even Bumrah knows. He'll just have a quick chat with Shubman Gill. It's not worth taking. They've already burnt one review.
That's the other thing to like about Bumrah. You can see in the way he appealed there, and there's a sense of desperation, expectation as well. Bumrah spell before lunch, they want a wicket, he wants a wicket, but we'll never see him getting carried away with a review. That's the other, hallmark of Bumrah, the great champion that he is.
Wow.
Attempted Yorker. Duckett waited for it and just punched it down the ground.
बच गया मियां भाई DSP.
Yeah, going for the in-swinging Yorker. I think I'm worth a go.
Oh my god.
Siraj has just ripped a bit of skin off on this dry Headingley outfield, sliding, but good effort in the field, showing some passion chasing that. But yeah, I think that was worth a go from Bumrah. He's obviously got such a dangerous Yorker. A little bit of sideways movement. Didn't quite get it right into a full toss, and actually wonderfully played. Definitely feels like something's building here, something's happening. There's been a change in the drama, a change in the atmosphere here at Headingley.
India also with a far more attacking feel now with this change ball and against Bumrah.
Wicket. Oi.
Oh, how close. Hands on it for the entire slip cordon, including Gill. Crawley pushed at that one. We'll find out if it carried to Bumrah on his follow through.
Yeah, just looking at the expressions, it seems like must have just about carried.
यार बच जाती अगर हुई है तो ओए
Yup, and he was rubbing his left wrist, so clearly carried. Very difficult catch, but you can put that down as a chance.
ओए यार
More runs, they'll go against Rishabh Pant. It's just not happened for India this morning. 116 without loss.
त्यागी भैया, ये अपने जेन बोल्ड अंग्रेजों पे भारी पड़ेंगे ना? अरे आप जेन गोल्ड के बिना सब कुछ शुभ होगा ना? अरे इंडिया सीरीज जीतेगी ना? भाई अनंत, तेरे कठिन सवालों का ना नहीं है अंत। कोई जीते न जीते, तुम जरूर जीत सकते हो। विंजो प्रेजेंट्स जीतो धन धनाधन। जीतो टैब पर जाओ, शुभ मन से सवालों के जवाब दो और हर मैच में जीत सकते हो 1 लाख के गोल्ड वाउचर। गोल्ड खेलना है और भी बोल्ड, तो विंजो ऐप पर खेलो लूडो, कैरम जैसे 100 से भी ज्यादा गेम्स और जीतो करोड़ों इनाम। जीतो धन धनाधन on Jio Hotstar।
Bumrah will have a dual role, one with ball, one to remind the rest of this team that Hashib Hamid and Rory Burns started well at the Oval in 2021, 100 opening stand, and then the seamers managed to find ways to break the game open, including Bumrah himself. They won that game late on final day. That was a different kind of England opening partnership though. 100-run partnership came in the 40th or 42nd over. They do that in half the time these days. Siraj replacing Jadeja and starting around the wicket.
Boy.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in and you see 116 without loss, you might think, right, if England batted superbly, if India bowled poorly. But I think it's also an element of misfortune for India. There's been a fair bit of playing in missing. Prasidh bowled better than his figures suggest. The ones that beat the bat just couldn't take the edge, Brody.
I think India have been really unlucky, actually. Yeah, have beaten the outside edge. The odd ball has gone through the gully in the air that the fielders weren't there for. They've had a couple of appeals, and they need to keep that positive mindset within the bowling attack, within the fielders. Actually, I'm watching the fielders. They're really upbeat. They're still talking. There's a lot of energy out there. There's a lot of belief still going. So it's not like the body language has dropped. They certainly don't have a defeatist look about them. They are keeping up with their bowlers. They just need that little bit of luck. One to catch the edge, go to hand, and suddenly 130 for 3, you're back in the game. But it's not quite happened for them as of yet. But it doesn't mean that it can't do just before lunch or even just after lunch. That's the beauty about Test match cricket. It can change hour by hour, and that will be Shubman Gill's message at lunch, making sure that the team come out with the same energy, the same drive, put their heart and souls into hitting this pitch as hard as you can. You never know. You just need one bowler, grab that ball and go, I can change the game right now.
Oh, yeah.
Just before lunch seemed to be a rather auspicious time for India, when they had ball in hand on day 1 and day 3. And they need to believe that even if they get 1 wicket here, just a couple of minutes to go, this might be the last over before lunch, maybe one more.
Just looking very flat to me, even with this change ball. I'm just looking at the actual behavior of the ball after it hits the pitch. They took the heavy roller. Can we read too much into it toward the heavy roller having its effect?
I think it certainly has had an effect. You're right, it hasn't responded today like it did yesterday morning. KL Rahul in his interview last night said the ball was bouncy, got a few on the shoulders, it went up a little bit. Haven't seen too many of those sort of deliveries today.
Come on, man, Siraj.
Style of bowler. Someone like Bryden Cast was really whacking that ball into the surface. If we have seen uneven bounce, it's been from Krishna. And Siraj is just running back to his mark here. There's 40 seconds, I'd say, for them to get this ball done, to get another over in before the lunch break.
And not just another over, another Bumrah over. Fair enough.
Oh.
I think fair enough on the batter because he was really rushing in. Go ahead, Stuart.
Yeah, all fun and games. We know Zach Crawley doesn't want another over pre-lunch. We know that India do, suggesting that there's a bit of movement behind the bowler's arms. Siraj getting frustrated and annoyed, arms up. The Duckett's now not ready to face, even at the non-striker's end. So tensions are building.
Right. Will we have another over? He's just bowled that. I don't think there was any intensity in the way he bowled that ball. He just wanted to bowl that ball quickly enough to get another Bumrah over. Are we having another Bumrah over? The answer is no.
Yeah, England session. Brilliantly played. Ben Duckett.
Well played, man.
117.
What a drama.